All right, today we are pulling back the curtain on this incredible economic powerhouse that's kind of hiding in plain sight. We're talking about a tag team between two Southeast Asian neighbors, Singapore and Malaysia. And believe me, they are completely changing the game when it comes to global business.
So, have you ever really stopped to think about how something like your phone or even your gaming console actually gets made? I mean, where does it really come from? Well, it wasn't built in just one single place, that's for sure. Its journey from just an idea to the thing in your hands is like this massive worldwide relay race. And the secret to winning that race? It often comes down to a really, really smart local partnership.
And the ultimate tag team we're going to dive into today, well, it involves two neighbors who have pretty much perfected this whole strategy, blending their unique strengths in a super effective way. It's the story of the brain and the muscle.
Okay, so let's get into it. To win in today's super complex world of global manufacturing, you can't just have a team full of, say, goalies or a team full of only strikers, right? You need specialists for every single position on the field, and that is exactly what big global companies get when they tap into the unique strengths of Singapore and Malaysia. So you might be asking, who plays what role in this partnership? Good question. Let's meet the players and really break down how this whole brain and muscle dynamic creates a system that's, well, pretty much unbeatable.
Okay, this really lays it all out, doesn't it? The division of labor is crystal clear. On one side, you've got Singapore as the brain. Think of it as the strategic nerve center. It's where the big companies set up their headquarters, where their top scientists are doing R&D, where the financial wizards are. It's all about the high-value ideas, the research, the capital. Then you look at the other side, and you've got Malaysia as the muscle. This is where the action happens. The massive factories, the sprawling assembly lines, the huge workforces. It's got the land and the sheer physical power to build things at an enormous scale.
And here's where it gets really clever. Companies are basically playing in two different arenas with two totally different rule books. Singapore is like a strict but super fair referee. The laws? Crystal clear. Your intellectual property? It's locked down tight, which makes it the perfect safe space for developing top-secret tech. But Malaysia is different. It uses its rules like power-ups in a video game, you know? They offer these huge tax breaks and create special free industrial zones to get factories to come and set up shop. Even the informal rules, just the general vibe, are different. Singapore is all about speed, efficiency, contracts. Malaysia is built more on relationships, on trust networks. The physical map of where business gets done is also totally different. In tiny, compact Singapore, you navigate by these super specialized hubs. You go to Biopolis for biotech, you go to the Central Business District for finance. But in massive, sprawling Malaysia, you navigate by state. You've got Penang, which is basically the Silicon Valley of the East, and then you have Johor, this manufacturing juggernaut. And the real magic? It's the bridge that connects them. That bridge creates a special economic zone that literally merges the brain and the muscle into one incredible super region. Okay, so we've established this is one heck of a powerful team. But what happens when the global game gets, well, rough? Because let's be honest, with all the political tension and trade wars going on, every single supply chain out there is sitting in a potential danger zone. The reality for businesses today is that making stuff isn't just about dollars and cents anymore, not by a long shot. Now, companies have to constantly worry about geopolitics, about security, about getting caught in the crossfire between superpowers. So you absolutely need a strategy to protect yourself. And this is where Singapore's role becomes absolutely critical. It acts as the ultimate safe harbor. Why? Because it's famously neutral, it's incredibly stable politically. So global firms use it as a shield for their most valuable assets. We're talking their money, their patents, their data, even their top execs. It's the place you go to ride out any geopolitical storm. So if Singapore is the safe harbor, what's Malaysia? It's the strategic backup plan. It's what the industry calls the China plus one strategy. It's actually pretty simple. If a company's main factory in China suddenly gets slammed with tariffs or there's some kind of political shutdown, they don't have to grind to a halt. They can just flip a switch and ramp up their operations in Malaysia. It keeps the whole supply chain humming along. All right, so how do companies actually use this tag team setup to navigate all those dangers we talked about? Well, it turns out they have a pretty clear 4-move playbook that lets them adapt to pretty much any challenge. Let's break down those moves. The playbook is built around 4 core moves. You've got accede, which basically means you just comply. Then there's ally, where you team up with local partners. Third is alter,
where you try to actually change the rules. And finally, avoid, which means you walk away or just find a way around the problem. Now, which move a company picks, that depends entirely on how much power or leverage they have in that specific situation.
Let's start with move number 1, accede. Think of this as the default setting, especially in a place like Singapore. If the government there passes a strict new carbon tax, a single company has zero power to fight it. So what do? They just accede. They comply, they pay the tax, they follow the new rule. Simple as that. Okay, move number 2 is ally. Let's say a big tech firm needs, 1,000 robotics engineers for their new factory in Malaysia, but they just can't find enough people with the right skills. Well, they can't just magically create them, right? So they ally. They team up with a local Malaysian university, and they build a brand new training program together to create the exact workforce they need. Now we get to move 3, alter. This one is a real power move. Imagine a giant corporation is planning to build a multi-billion-dollar factory that's going to bring thousands of jobs to Malaysia. But they look at the numbers and say, the local taxes are too high. Because they're bringing so much to the table, all those jobs, all that investment, they have a ton of leverage. So they can go directly to the government and negotiate to alter the rules, maybe scoring a special 10-year tax holiday just for them. And last but not least, move 4, avoid. And honestly, this move perfectly shows the tag team strategy in action. Let's say a company wants to build a huge new factory, but the land costs in Singapore are just astronomical. Do they give up on the region? Nope. They just avoid the problem. They move that part of the operation right across the bridge into Malaysia, where there's plenty of space and it's a whole lot cheaper. Brain in one country, muscle in the other. So when you put this all together, why is this whole brain and muscle combination so incredibly successful? Let's do a quick recap of what really makes this a winning model for any business trying to make it in the world today. Look, the bottom line is this partnership works because it lets each country do what it does best, which maximizes their strengths and, at the same time, minimizes risk for companies. It creates a supply chain that's super flexible and resilient, one that can actually handle the crazy shocks of the global economy. You really do get the best of both worlds. You get Singapore's predictable, high-tech, super safe environment for your valuable ideas, and you get Malaysia's incredible, scalable production power for your actual products. It's the whole shebang, a complete ecosystem from that first spark of an idea all the way to the final product rolling off the assembly line. So this model has been just unbelievably effective for Singapore and Malaysia. But it leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about, right? As global tensions keep shifting and supply chains are totally transforming, you have to wonder, where will the next great brain and muscle tag team pop up?